Hello, fellow educators and students. Today's video is going to be on Google Chat. This is an offering for any school that uses G Suite for Education. This is a wonderful chat program. It's something I've wanted to play around with for a little while because Google Hangouts is going away and they're moving more over to the chat. And due to recent happenings, I finally have a little time to actually sit down and play around with Google Chats a bit. It works in your browser. They also have an iOS and Android app, and there is also a Windows app that you can download, I believe, from the Windows Store, so it works on all platforms. This is a really powerful and awesome tool I've been really wanting to get in and play around with, and finally had some time to do so and wanted to get a video out right away because I have a feeling in this time that we're going through right now, a lot of people are going to find this really, really handy. So you want to be logged into your school email account, whatever your school email account is. I'm logged in with a test account right now. And you want to go to chat.google.com, or if you come over to the top right and click on that little waffle iron icon, you will see the chat button right down there, and you can click on that and it'll take you right to Google Chat. Just a quick aside, if you click on that waffle iron icon, you can actually click and drag around the icons. So if there's something you use a lot and it's way down the list a little bit, you can click and actually move it around to drop it in a quicker to get to place. Really neat little feature that it's kind of hidden. You may not know about it, so just in case. So once you get to chat.google.com, the first time there, it'll walk you through a little tutorial that you just have to click a couple buttons or you can skip right through it. So the first time you arrive at Google Chat, you'll see a screen like this. If you have been using Google Hangouts, you'll actually see your Google Hangout conversations already populated. I just didn't want to use my normal account so that anybody could see all the chats I've had. So this is just a plain empty account. Now there's a bunch of features to this. The basics is it's just a simple chat. If you wanted to start talking to somebody, you click on this little chat button and you just type in the person's name or email and you'll see they'll pop right up. And now down here, I can actually start talking to this person. And it will send them a message just like Google Hangouts has. And there's a little sound that it went through. Now, in individual chats like this with people, you can do a couple different things. You can show history on and off. So after history, with the history off, it'll delete messages after 24 hours, or if you leave it on, it'll save all your messages. I'd encourage saving it, especially if you're talking to other staff members, because you might hit a point where maybe a few weeks ago they sent you something and you just want to go back and find it. That gives you a chance to scroll back through your history and find it. You can, if you click on this little icon, you can upload a file to the chat. You can add a Google Drive file. You can start a video meeting with the person, or you can add an emoji if you want to have a little fun. Or you can, as I said, just start typing a message and it'll send them a quick message. Be nice if I could actually type English. And there it goes through, and they'll see it. The reason you're hearing a ding is because my laptop is also set up in my email program, and I'm logged in with the account I'm sending a message to. So on the other end of that, you'll actually hear a ding if you receive a message. So that's the real basic feature. It's a lot more powerful, and the same features work on iOS and Android. You can attach Google Drive, upload files, you can start a Google Meet, emojis, all those things. In my opinion, where this gets really, really powerful is these rooms. So let's say you're in the math department. So I can just click up here, and when I click, you'll see there's a group message feature, find a bot, which I'll talk about in just a few, create a room, browse room, and message requests. So I want to create a room. Click on that. And I already created one as a test earlier called music. I'm going to create one called math department. I'm going to hit create. Now it's created the math department. So what I can do is I can click on this add people and bots. Again, we're going to ignore the bots for the moment. I'm going to click on add people. I'm going to add my other account, my Adam Metzler account. And I'm going to click. When you hit notify people via email, it will send them a message to their email saying that you have invited that person to join this room on Google Chats. So I'm going to tell it send, and it will send it to my account. Now I can start a new thread or a new post. And the really neat thing is, if you have multiple people in your math department, or if you're the junior high wing or high school ELA, any of those topics, you can create as many topics as you want and create a room for all those different topics. And then you can invite those people to that room and you guys can have conversations between each other. You can upload files, share Google Drive files. You can have a Google Meet with everybody, and you can do it all as a group, and you're in constant communication all the time. It's a really quick way to just stay in touch with each other. So if I send out a message, I can send that, and everybody that is part of that math department room will see the message. You can create as many rooms as you want. So if I want to create another room, the rooms you've been invited to, it will show a list of rooms that either others have invited you to that you are not currently in, or rooms you have created and you unsubscribe from because you don't want to use it anymore. So if you ever want to reuse a room, you could just add yourself back in and you're off and running. So I'm going to create another one. I'm going to create a technology department room. And now you'll see technology department listed on that side. So that you could have an administrative room. You could have guidance, as many rooms about anything you want. You could have them for sports, anything you want. Now in our district, in MSAD number 42, it is currently unavailable to students. That could change in the near future. It's something we're going to talk through, but for right now, this is currently available for all staff members to use with each other. So a real great tool by creating those multiple rooms. So as I said, you also have browse rooms. So you can browse all your current rooms just like it's the same screen you went to when you created a room. So it's the same idea, just another way to get there. You can just browse all the rooms that you have removed. So just to show you, if I hover over technology department here, and I click those three little dots, I can either turn off notifications for that room, or I can leave that room. And if I click leave that room and say yes, that room disappears. But if I go back to browse rooms, you'll see those rooms still listed there. So say I wanted to start that room back up again, I just hit that plus button, and then I close this out, and you'll see technology department is back. Now another really neat feature, and this is something that's more part of the social network piece, is let's say you have a room with 5 or 10 or 20 people in it, and you just want to message a specific person or just kind of point them out. Similar to what you can do on Facebook and Twitter, if you use the @ symbol, and I can do @Adam, and then say, hey, how is it going? And I send that, it's going to send me specifically a notification, or whoever you do that to, a specific notification directly to that person. So if you have a question for somebody specifically in your room, it's a great way to get their attention really quick. One of the really neat features in here are the bots. There are two specific ones I'm going to talk about. I'm only going to show one of them right now because the other one's still a little quirky, so I'm hoping they do some improvement to it. But if you come over here on the left to the bots and click the plus sign, you'll see Meet and Google Drive. The Meet one is really neat. If you add it and you go to that bot, you can say schedule a meeting with Adam Metzler tomorrow at 1 p.m. and it will send me a notification to my normal email account, and it'll send the person that scheduled it, and it'll add it automatically to the calendar, and as long as they approve the meeting, it'll add it automatically to theirs. You can also cancel meetings from there and see upcoming meetings. The only thing I'm finding with it that just doesn't work well right now is for some reason it won't use the Eastern Standard Time. It's using other time zones. So right now I probably wouldn't use it, but you could at least check it out and play around with it a little bit. It is really cool. So once they get that fixed, it's a really neat feature. So right now I'm going to add the Google Drive. I'm going to add it to a message. So it's going to give you a couple features. You can turn on notifications in Google Chat, so I'm going to say yes. And what it can do is it can give you all sorts of notifications about new files shared with you, access requests, comments, and anything that really goes on in your Google Drive. It'll send you a message letting you know about those changes. So especially with Google Classrooms and any of those things, when there's updates to files that are in your Google Drive, or as I said, somebody shares something with you, it'll send you a quick notification in your Google bot saying that such and such has been done, and here's where to go check it out. So that's the really, really neat thing about the Google Drive. So if you want to remove it, again, you click on the three dots and you click remove. And then you can always go back by hitting the plus button, and you can add one of those two back in. As I said, there are a lot of bots, and I know they're adding to them over time. They have a Jiffy one or a Giphy, depending on what side of the aisle you come down on. A lot of them are stuff we don't really use, and right now they do have 87 bots, but I find most of them are for services that we just don't use. But I would feel free to go ahead and look through them and see if there's one that jumps out to you that maybe is something you do use in your daily life, because the bots are a really neat feature. Just the last little bit of things is if you come over here and click on the gear icon, you can go into your settings, and it just gives you a little chance to customize your notifications on web and the desktop, on your mobile, and through your email. So you can adjust settings for those different things. Now, if you noticed, one of the things I said was web and desktop. Desktop is the next thing I would like to show. Really neat feature. So instead of having to go to chat.google.com in your browser, you can actually do a search for Google Chat for Mac. And you click on that link, and you'll see there's a download button here. There's also a get it on Google Play and get it on the iOS store. So you can, as I mentioned earlier, have it on your iOS device or your Android device, and I've been told it is also in the Windows Store. So if you have a Windows machine, you can also get it there. So you'll click the download button. You'll see it'll download here, or if you use Safari, you'll see the download up here. But once it's downloaded, you'll want to double click on it to open it up. And then you'll see this chat icon. All you want to do is click and drag it to your applications folder. And you just heard that ding, or if you just give it a couple, it'll automatically move over for you. It's so quick it really doesn't show you any notifications. And then you want to go to your Finder, and then you want to go to Applications. And if you come down, you will see right there is your chat. So I'll double click on chat to open it up. Now with the newer versions of Mac OS, there's all sorts of security messages and all those things. Make sure you just go through all those as they appear for you. It's going to ask you to sign in. So I'm going to sign in with my school email or my W. Metzler account to keep showing the test account. It's going to ask you to grant permissions. Remember, as I said, you can send Google Drive folders and do all sorts of things with it. So you want to make sure you allow those things. It's a Google product, so it's safe to do. And now you'll find you now have a client on your desktop that is exactly the same as the web. So you can leave that open all the time. And if you would like, if you come down to your toolbar, you'll see that little Google Chat icon. If you just click and drag it over, you can drag it wherever you want it. And now it'll stay in your toolbar. And if you hold down the control button and click on it, you can go up to Options, and you can tell it to open at login. So when your computer logs in, it will automatically open up for you and always be running. And it'll send you notifications and make it really, really easy to stay in touch with other people in your department or just other people in the district. I am so excited about this. I think it's a really cool tool. It's going to do a lot of good and hopefully help a lot of people out, especially the rooms section. You can create all sorts of rooms. Again, for our school, it's not active for students at the moment, but that doesn't mean it won't change in the near future. It's something we're going to have to discuss. But right now, please, please, I encourage you to download the app on your phone or your tablet and enjoy it. A great way to stay in touch with each other and just keep progressing on your work that you're doing as far as curriculum development or just talking through ideas and getting some help on how to do different things virtually. So another great tool that's available to us and built right into Google. Don't forget to check out my site at adamontech.com, where you can submit suggestions or follow-up questions to these video tutorials. While there, you can also read my writings that explore a number of topics in greater detail. You can also leave a comment below or hit me up on Twitter at twitter.com/adamontech. Don't forget to hit that like button below, and while you're doing that, also take a moment to subscribe to my channel so you can stay up to date with my latest tutorials. So until next time, this is Adam on Tech, signing off.